The sirens in Taipei started as a low hum, echoing through the city's narrow streets and bustling morning markets. Within seconds, the sound rose to a piercing wail that shattered the December morning calm. This was no drill, this was the real thing, and everyone knew it. Across the Taiwan Strait, China had launched its largest military exercises ever, Joint Sword 2025. The scale was unprecedented, with warships and helicopters moving in perfect, intimidating formation. The world watched in alarm, seeing these maneuvers as a dress rehearsal for a possible invasion. Analysts debated the implications, but the message was clear. Global markets plunged into chaos, with investors dumping stocks and currencies. Leaders from Washington to Tokyo scrambled for answers, holding emergency meetings as the crisis deepened. In the Pentagon, satellite images revealed dozens of Chinese warships forming a tight ring around Taiwan, a blockade in all but name. Fighter jets roared off carrier decks, and missiles splashed down perilously close to Taiwan's shores, sending shockwaves through the region. This was not just posturing, it was a calculated show of overwhelming force, a demonstration of military might meant to intimidate and warn. The message from Beijing was unmistakable. This island is ours, and we're ready to take it by any means necessary. Social media exploded with dramatic images of PLA warships, while in Taiwan, emergency alerts flashed urgently on every phone, warning citizens to stay vigilant. The fragile peace that had held for decades was now hanging by a thread, as fear and uncertainty gripped the streets of Taipei. December 4th, 2025. A crisis unfolds in real time, with every minute bringing new developments and heightened anxiety. The next hours could determine not only the fate of a democratic island, but also the stability of the entire globe. The world's eyes are fixed on Taiwan. We're on the ground, bringing you the latest updates from the heart of this escalating crisis, as events unfold at a dizzying pace. The world is watching the Taiwan Strait, now the epicenter of a geopolitical earthquake that could reshape the future. The first chapter of this dangerous new era is being written before our eyes, with history hanging in the balance. No one knows how it will end, and the uncertainty is palpable in every home and public square. The stakes have never been higher, as military and economic powers brace for what could come next. The only certainty is that the balance of power in Asia is shifting, and the consequences will be felt far beyond the region. The world holds its breath, waiting for the next move in this high-stakes confrontation. China's military might is on full display, showcasing a level of coordination and strength that has rapidly evolved over the past decade. The world is witnessing a transformation in the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region. At the center of this display is the CNS Shandong aircraft carrier, a symbol of China's growing blue water ambitions. It launches J-15 fighter jets on simulated strike missions, demonstrating both offensive and defensive capabilities. Type 055 destroyers, bristling with advanced missile systems, patrol the perimeter. These warships are ready to defend the carrier group and strike at Taiwan's defenses, forming a formidable shield around the fleet. Amphibious assault ships, capable of deploying thousands of Marines and heavy equipment, signal preparations for a possible island seizure. Their presence hints at the scale and seriousness of China's planning. Hundreds of aircraft, including H-6K bombers and J-20 stealth fighters, take off from both mainland bases and the carrier. They practice coordinated attacks, simulating real combat scenarios and joint operations. The PLA is actively testing Taiwan's response, mapping radar signatures, and overwhelming defenses with electronic warfare and bomber strikes. These exercises are designed to probe weaknesses and refine tactics. This is more than intimidation, it's a rehearsal for invasion, with troops practicing amphibious landings and urban warfare, preparing for every possible scenario. Beijing aims to break Taiwan's will and warn its new government against any moves toward independence. The message is clear and unmistakable. It's also a direct challenge to the US, showing China's growing ability to deter or defeat outside intervention. The risk of confrontation is rising with every maneuver. The message is unmistakable. The Taiwan Strait is no longer a safe haven for American power, and the status quo is under threat. Each maneuver is a calculated gamble to rewrite Asia's security map, shifting alliances and redrawing lines of influence across the region. The world is watching closely as China flexes its military muscle, with every move analyzed by governments and experts worldwide. The stakes are nothing less than regional order and global stability. The outcome remains uncertain, and the consequences could be felt far beyond Asia. Taiwan's response was swift and resolute. F-16V fighter jets scrambled, shadowing PLA aircraft and defending sovereign airspace. Anti-ship missile batteries and fast attack boats mobilized, ready to make any invasion costly. President Lai Ching-te addressed the nation, vowing not to bow to intimidation. Taiwan condemned Beijing's actions, called for international support, and shared intelligence with allies. The strategy, asymmetric warfare, using advanced missiles, local knowledge, and a motivated force to turn the island into a fortress. Taiwan's message. Media. Civil defense volunteers training in Taiwan. Taiwanese citizens waving national flags in support of democracy. Military personnel affirming commitment to defense. We seek peace, but we will defend our democracy. The world is being asked to stand with Taiwan. The island prepares for the worst, but refuses to surrender. Washington's response was immediate and decisive, sending a clear message to both allies and adversaries around the world. President Biden swiftly condemned China's actions, standing before the nation to reaffirm America's unwavering commitment to Taiwan under the Taiwan Relations Act, and emphasizing that the U.S. would not stand by in the face of aggression. The USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group was immediately ordered to sail toward Taiwan, serving as a powerful and unmistakable signal of U.S. resolve and military readiness in the region. Surveillance flights over the region increased dramatically, and B-2 bombers were placed on high alert, ready to respond at a moment's notice if the situation escalated further. The Pentagon's strategy, integrated deterrence, came into sharp focus, combining robust diplomacy with visible military posturing to raise the cost of any potential aggression and deter escalation. Urgent calls and secure video conferences went out to key allies in Japan, South Korea, and Australia, as Washington worked to coordinate a unified and rapid response across the Indo-Pacific. The U.S. urged restraint on all sides, seeking to support Taiwan's security and democracy without provoking Beijing into a corner or triggering a wider conflict. It's a delicate balancing act with enormous global consequences, as leaders everywhere watch the crisis unfold in real time. The world's most powerful military is now fully engaged in the crisis, mobilizing assets and tracking every development with intense focus. Every move is calculated with precision, aiming to deter war, not start one. While keeping all options on the table, the stakes are immense: peace in the Indo-Pacific and the credibility of U.S. commitments to its allies and partners worldwide. The world watches anxiously as Washington draws its line in the sand, signaling that the outcome here could set a precedent for future conflicts. The next steps taken by the U.S. and its allies could shape not just the region, but the entire century ahead. China's drills sent shockwaves across the Indo-Pacific. Japan, just over 100 kilometers from Taiwan, protested as missiles landed in its economic zone and raised its military alert. Japanese destroyers and missile defenses mobilized, while leaders warned of a direct threat to national security. Australia, caught between its U.S. alliance and trade with China, called for restraint and monitored the crisis with advanced surveillance. Southeast Asian nations, wary of China's power, watched nervously, fearing this could preview future conflicts in the region. The drills paralyzed vital shipping lanes, exposing the region's economic vulnerability. Beijing's message: China is setting new rules, and it has the power to enforce them. The Indo-Pacific holds its breath, hoping diplomacy can avert disaster. The world's shipping, security, and future hang in the balance. Joint Sword 2025 is a meticulously scripted simulation of a full-scale attack on Taiwan. First, a blockade Chinese warships cut off Taiwan's ports, practicing economic strangulation. Next, an air and missile campaign, volleys of ballistic missiles and simulated airstrikes target infrastructure and military command centers. Finally, amphibious drills. Assault ships and helicopters rehearse landings on islands mimicking Taiwan's coast. The PLA is testing its ability to coordinate Navy, Air Force, and ground units in a complex multi-domain operation. Each maneuver refines China's plan for a rapid, decisive war. The message: China is ready for more than intimidation, it's preparing for conquest. The world sees a military machine learning from modern conflicts. The risk of escalation grows with every drill. Despite the threat, life in Taipei carries on. Night markets bustle, neon lights glow, and people gather for bubble tea. Beneath the calm, there's a quiet resolve. Civil defense drills are routine bomb shelter signs dot the city. Volunteers train citizens in first aid and spotting disinformation. Families quietly prepare go bags and the stock market wobbles. Older generations remain stoic, younger ones fiercely defend their democracy online. This blend of calm and readiness is Taiwan's psychological shield. By refusing to panic, the people deny Beijing a victory. Their message, our democracy and identity are not negotiable. It's a quiet, collective act of defiance. Analysts warn the greatest danger may be accidental war, not deliberate invasion. With so many warships and jets in close quarters, a single mistake could trigger uncontrollable escalation. Communication hotlines between the US and China are unreliable or severed, raising the risk of miscalculation. Xi Jinping, having staked his legacy on reunification, faces pressure to appear strong. If the drills are seen as a failure, he may escalate further. Each side feels compelled to show resolve, pushing the region closer to the edge. A war over Taiwan would be catastrophic, pitting nuclear powers against each other, shattering the global economy, and costing countless lives. Experts urge extreme caution and renewed dialogue. The Taiwan Strait is now the world's most dangerous flashpoint. The need for diplomacy has never been more urgent. As night falls, the world remains on edge. Chinese warships patrol, Taiwanese jets stand ready, and the US carrier group looms nearby. The crisis is a fundamental test of the post-war order, democracy versus authoritarianism. The fate of Taiwan is now a global litmus test. Leaders in Beijing, Taipei, and Washington must find a way to de-escalate. The fragile peace holds, but only just. The Taiwan Strait is the world's most dangerous fault line. The future is unwritten, and the world is watching.